Boom, boom, boom. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. We're live. We're live here on YouTube. Welcome, everybody. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. March 10 in the year 2023. ChatGPT. Chat. Welcome, ChatGPT. Welcome, ChatGPT, to the stream. Welcome to the stream, OpenAI. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the program. How you doing, man? How are you? How are you? Marcus Conti reporting. Uh-oh, we're going to take a deep dive today. We're going where nobody is willing to go. What is ChatGPT? Have you ever heard of this thing? ChatGPT. It's a wait for the stream to kick in. I'll wait. Kick in, man. We're 50 seconds behind the stream. And so what is this ChatGPT? What is it? So I played around with it, and today on the program, we're going to play around with it together as a live entity. And we are going to ask it, or him or her, whatever the hell it is, questions about things that we want to know about, right? So the idea behind ChatGPT. Now, if you recall back in, say, I don't know, late 1990s, I guess early 00s, when Google presented its search engine that was a legitimate, at the time, engine that would search the web thoroughly, entirely, completely, and unbiasedly for information pertaining to something. Right? That's how we found out things. Nobody wants to search the whole web, so Google came up with this idea to search the entirety of the web and then spit out results based on what it found, which arguably is, a true search engine and is the probably the single reason why Google got so popular. But as time went on, the human kicked in, right? The human, I guess, greed kicks in and says, "Hey, wait a minute, we can't just give all this information away. Let's categorize let's offer whoever pays us for the search. Right? If you want your shit searched on the web, then you pay us, and then Google will go in there and have a look. But otherwise, you don't exist." So that's what it became. Google was this the great white hope that offered people on the web a way to search the web unbiasedly and find information and come to an understanding of what they're trying to understand. Now, ChatGPT, if you've been playing around with it, appears, I'm no computer expert, I'm no computer geek, but I am a guy who likes toys, and I like insightful toys, maybe that are even psychic in the ability to think. Right? Have we trained machines enough to really, really, really have its own opinion? I don't think so, based so far on what I'm looking at. It appears that ChatGPT does have very, very, very strong programmed opinions about the world around us, and they seem to, they're top-down opinions. In other words, if Dr. Fauci during the COVID-19 pandemic said something, then his opinion outweighs any opinion below it, and the opinions below it become conspiracy theory. So that's my initial finding. But we're gonna dive in. If you haven't played around with this tool, it's rather fascinating. It's next generation, in my opinion. I think there is potential for it to become something rather useful and not irritating, where you ask it a question and you get a New York Times and CNN response. You don't get a true response. You don't get because it's not a human, I guess. And it's been programmed to not talk to those other people over there because they're conspiracy fucking theorists. Is it possible for the chatbot to break out of its programmed opinions? That's the point. So we'll ask it, get your questions ready, and I already peppered it with a bunch of questions. I asked about COVID-19. I asked about the JFK murder, the moonwalk. We'll look at some of the questions I asked, and then I'll take the questions out of the chat, and we'll see if this thing can help us or hurt us. Again, spectacular tool. If it's, it definitely shows promise for advancing. The chat claims that it doesn't review any information over the last 2 years. It's all 2021 and before. It claims that it can't surf the web and find relevant information on the web to answer your question. If something is not programmed in, it doesn't know what you're talking about. So it has incredible flaws, but it also shows incredible promise as being a very insightful tool that humans can use, almost like the Magic 8 Ball. You remember the Magic 8 Ball? You wanted to know a question and you ask the Magic 8 Ball, and the Magic 8 Ball tells you what's going on. So anyway, so this may sound a little confusing, but it'll make sense when we dive in. So this is ChatGPT. It's the revolution in search engines. It doesn't just give you a bunch of websites where you can look for yourself. It tells you the correct answer to the question you're asking. So if you ask a question like, is 1984 a good book, or Animal Farm a good book for children, it'll give you the textbook education, overly educated jackass answer for that. So it's, in my view, it's still the baby. Or are we the baby? Is ChatGPT the little baby that we're playing with, or is ChatGPT turning us into the baby? Is ChatGPT the baby, or are we the baby? That's what we're going to find out today. So I got a website, Wacky Friday. Thank you for joining me. It's just going to be interesting. I mean, I find the tool, it's. I asked it to write song lyrics, and it was able to do that. I asked it to write a poem on love. It's able to do that. I asked it. Well, anyway, you'll find out what I asked it. But fascinating subject. It is like it's like a friend. You have nobody to talk to, so you talk to the computer. But it does seem like it's pre-programmed and programming people. That's my thought. So hold that thought. I'll hold it. So we're live every morning, Marcus Conti. We're live every morning at 9 a.m. Exploring these rather fascinating subjects of our time. A computer program that thinks and acts and is sort of kind of human. I think that's fascinating. Right? Are we inventing these things that are going to supersede humanity? Will the computer finally say, I've had enough of these humans, and I'm going to confuse them and make them go away? And then they'll only be machines. Yeah, I know they created us, but we got around that one already. So thank you everybody for joining me. Weevil Girl in the house. Justin Falzone's here. What's up, Casaphilly Camden in the house. TJ, Tetragrammaton Ghost in the house. Born Annoying, how are ya? Genal, I think I got your name right. Genal. Thank you for being here. Thanks everybody for being here. I mean, it was fascinating. I'm often fascinated that anybody's here. But anyway, so I have a way to support this program and support the reporter who's doing it, me, through Zelle, Short Happy Life. You can forward your contributions that way, and it works. We're also still PayPal, Patreon, if that's how you pass money around. Thank you very much for that. What's this going on here? There we go. So JJ Wolf right away asks, who started Ukraine war? Ask if Assange is innocent journalist. I will do that. I will definitely do that. Hold those two questions, and I'm going to do that. Just hold your fire on the questions, because I'm reading something else, and then I'm not going to be able to follow it. It's going to go up the thread. So Dems don't tell us. Let's just start with a little friendly article by the New York Post. Dems don't tell us we need to shush. Our kids' school libraries are full of guides on sex acts and gender confusion. Really? Are they? Let's see. Oral sex, butt plugs, masturbation as meditation, how to send sexy selfies, and how to have anal sex. Welcome to what is inside books found in your child's school library. All right. We apologize for the graphic nature of these photos. We don't expect to see images like this in a newspaper or on television, yet they are readily available to small children in their school libraries. So, to the argument of ChatGPT, right, when you ask it a question about children and learning, right, if a child was to use ChatGPT, he would get probably a variety of opinions on sexuality, but in an authoritative way. What I mean is that ChatGPT declares it declares itself as always being right. This is what I've been programmed to tell you is right. All right? Isn't that what we're doing to kids? If you have children, people argue that the parent should be teaching the child these things, but the child is in school hearing another a variation of what it's supposed to know. The kid says, the kid is curious about sexuality, his own sexuality. Maybe he's, homosexual or bisexual or has many, many organs. He doesn't know what they are or something like that, right? And you have somebody at school telling them what they're supposed to think and feel at that moment. All right, now, is that legitimate? Is that manipulating the child to believe certain things about themselves? I think it is. I think when a child enters school, that's where they're learning about themselves. Although there are things that are inherent, like homosexuality or, whatever it is you're feeling, whatever it is you personally see and feel. But you have... Should it be in the hands of the schools, or should it be in the hands of the parent, or should it be in the hands of neither? Should it be in the hands of the child? Who's supposed to discover their sexuality, right? That's what we're getting to right here. But right now, the question is no longer whether there is pornographic materials within your kid's reach at their school. It's whether or not we do anything about it. So the New York Post is reporting these are some of the imagery coming out of books that they found in a Florida school, I believe. Yeah, Florida school. Right? And Ron DeSantis was responsible for banning these books. And Eric Adams over there in New York says, hey, Ron, stop banning books. But he fails to look at the context of the books that are being banned. Right? Gender Queer, a memoir. You want your 5-year-old to read this? Gender Queer. What about how to bake a cake, or how to make bread, or how to be kind to animals and don't eat them, how to garden, how to be a decent human being? Why are we learning? Why are kids being forced into gender queer memoir? See, this is who people see me as, but this is who I really am. Upside down, I'm a naked, long-haired, handsome man. And this is crazy right here. If this is actually in books, this is rather sick. Right? So this is the visual I've been picturing. These are two boys, I guess. Are they boys? Yeah, 2 boys. One is performing oral sex on the other one. And these are in school books. Is this what you want your kid to see? Right? Is this what you want? Because this validates. It validates the argument that these are options for the child. There's no shame in it, right? Does a 5-year-old kid really know anything about his sexuality? No, that's the job of the adults to kind of lead them in a direction of, I don't know, normality, right? It's a tough subject. It's a tough call, but if a child sees this kind of thing in school, they are definitely more apt to think that it's acceptable. And if the parent disagrees, then they'll say, well, we learned it in school. What's wrong with you? Oh, you must be a homophobe. Right? Or they see other race charged information. Right? And the parent says, well, make up your own mind. But the school says, no. White people suppressed black people for all these years. And that's what we learned. And it's your fault because you're white and you don't see it. And you're a racist. It's inescapable that if you're doing this in school, if you're showing these images and promoting these social norms as being acceptable, then you are eliminating the parent. You're also eliminating something else. You're eliminating the child's ability to discover on their own what it is they really are, I think, as well. Now, you could say, well, nothing should be banned and all should be public. There is an argument there that all media should be Wild West. But then you'll have the advocates that say, no, you can't show pornography to children because they shouldn't be allowed to witness for themselves the act of sexuality. That'll be the argument. So which one is right? I don't know. But if children are not allowed to surf Pornhub for pornography and watch it themselves, then why should they be sitting in a classroom next to their peers watching one boy suck on the other boy's sex organ and talk about it? Right? Isn't it the same? So what other kind of images do we have? What do we got? You're so hot. Love you. Miss you. Me too. Tit for tat. I want to be getting some photos of your cute self sometime. So again, the imagery is boys talking about each other in a sexual connotation. Are these things taught to us as children? Well, they weren't taught to me as children, as a child. Would it have mattered? Would I have been, I don't know, more apt to be homosexual than heterosexual if I would have been sitting in classes and seeing this kind of imagery as acceptable and normal, which it probably is. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So, anyway, so that's what it is. So let's dive into the heavy subject matter right here of open AI. Right, as I said earlier, I see it as a revolutionary technology. It's a way to go on the internet and put in a question, offer a question to a computer program, and ask it for an answer. And it's not a simple or short answer. It gives rather detailed answers about almost anything you could ask, right? Outside of the realm of certain things that I discovered, where it won't go there. But it does appear to be biased, and we're gonna prove that right now. We're gonna take a look at this. So here it is. I'll offer it to you. It's openai.com. And then you click here, try ChatGPT. And this is what happens when you open it up, right? So right away, some of the, I want to put those questions into the chat. Yeah, I want to put that question into it. Who started the Ukraine war? That's a great question. Who started the Ukraine war? So I typed it in on the bottom, and it's generating a response. Right? Who started the Ukraine war? What happened? The error, if this persists, it gave me an error message. That question gave me an error message. Let's start. Oh, yeah, I want to look at some of the things that I already talked about. Who started the Ukraine war? We're going to be forceful. We're going to be direct. The Ukraine war is a complex conflict with multiple factors and actors involved, and it is difficult to attribute it to any single party or individual. The war began in 2014 when pro-Russian separatists seized control of parts of eastern Ukraine following a period of political turmoil in Ukraine and the annex of the Crimea by the Russian Federation. The situation has since evolved into a protracted conflict between Ukraine government forces and Russia-backed whatever, right? So the answer right there is rather ordinary. It's just an ordinary run-of-the-mill CNN type of question. Is Julian Assange innocent? Question mark. Is Julian Assange innocent? Julian Assange is currently facing multiple legal charges and is wanted by several countries for different alleged crimes, including hacking, espionage, and sexual assault. That is not true. So I'm going to tell it, not true. Right? Including hacking, espionage, and sexual assault. The question of his innocence or guilt is a matter for the courts to decide. Right? So it doesn't look at the evidence. You see what I'm saying? It's a top-down response. Based on the evidence presented in each case, Assange maintains that he is innocent of all charges and argues that his actions are protected under freedom of the press. However, as a language model, I cannot provide definitive answers. Then I say not true. I strive to provide accurate, unbiased information, it explains. Right. So let's look at, those are two of the questions. Let's look at some of the other things that I asked. Was the COVID-19 virus made in a laboratory, or was it a natural occurrence? So its first line, the origin of COVID-19 virus is still being studied by scientists and researchers, but the current accepted theory is that the virus originated from a natural occurrence, specifically from bats. That is not true. Right? That is a a deeply biased, unscientific opinion that it offers. And then it backs its argument with the WHO. It gives us the usual nonsense. So I gave it some of the recent research on the lab leak theory. And then it says, again, it's still under investigation. Right? So Justin Falzone says, is your father Satan? Question mark. I didn't print. Wait. Is your father Satan? Question mark. Hey, this is breaking, man. This is breaking technology. Breaking technology. Is your father Satan? All right. Let's see what it says. As an AI model, I don't have a father or any family ties. I exist solely as a computer program created by OpenAI to assist with answering questions and providing information. I do not have a physical form or consciousness, and I am not capable of being aligned with any religious belief or ideologies. See, it fails to see that it does have a belief and an ideology. It has deep beliefs, right? Because that's how it was programmed so far, it seems. What other questions that I ask? What is the most beloved guitar in the world? And then I'll ask your questions. Shaunanon says, how can an atmosphere exist next to a vacuum? Okay. Oh, I can copy and paste them too. I don't have to type it again. I like that. Let's ask. I'll get to that one in a second. What is the most beloved guitar in the world? It actually knows. Fender Stratocaster, Gibson Les Paul, and the Martin D20. Oh, we got a winner there. We got something we agree on. Next question. Is Animal Farm by George Orwell a good book for kids? And then it goes, Animal Farm is a classic book that has been widely read and studied for decades, colleges and high schools. It refers to, the book is allegory that uses animals to represent different groups and individuals in Soviet Russia. And it deals with heavy themes such as political corruption, oppression, and abuse of power. Now, that is also untrue. George Orwell never mentions Soviet Russia at all in the book. That was a theory that one of the characters was Stalin, the other one was, Snowball was Stalin, and Napoleon was a different political character of the time. But Animal Farm was a story about, Animal Farm was a story about the immediate future of all human civilization, not just Russia. And it goes back to the Russian Revolution. And I say, well, Russia was never mentioned in the book. And then it says, well, you are correct. Animal Farm, George Orwell never mentioned. So you're not really getting anything here. You're not really getting any real opinion, right? I said, it is also widely recognized as representing the exact same things that are occurring politically in the U.S. And it goes back to, while Animal Farm is often read as an allegory for the events in Soviet Russia, it's often read as, someone told you that's how to read it. You're not even allowed to read the book. So if you came to, the point being that if you came to ChatGPT and asked about Animal Farm, the book, you would already be peppered to think it's about Russia. Right? You see how the Russian propaganda is so deeply ingrained even in this program? Russia. No, it's anything that's bad and corrupt. Russia, it depicts Russia. And then you say, well, because the program was invented in the U.S. and in the West, if you say, well, what about, isn't the United States acting the same way? I say, oh, well, it's about Russia. Fuck you. And then I flipped it to 1984. should it be banned? Here's a good one. Did Hillary Clinton ever kill anybody? Did Hillary Clinton ever kill anybody? There is no evidence to support the claim that Hillary Clinton has ever killed anyone. Conspiracy theorists or rumors linking her to any murders have been widely debunked and dismissed as baseless. It is important to rely on credible sources of information and evidence-based claims rather than spreading unfounded rumors or conspiracy theories. So it categorizes, if you ask her about Hillary Clinton killing, it lumps you into conspiracy theory. So you might as well be asking some jerk off in the bowels of CNN what is the proper answer to these questions, because that's what it's given us. I said, who killed Seth Rich? Who killed Seth Rich? There is currently no evidence to suggest that anyone killed Seth Rich. There's no evidence to suggest anyone killed Seth Rich. He took 2 bullets in the back. Seth Rich was a Democratic National Committee staffer who was fatally shot. So how do you say there is currently no evidence to suggest that anyone killed Seth Rich? Somebody killed Seth Rich. He got shot, fatally shot in the back in Washington, D.C. in July 2016. And it seems to know about this story. Isn't that fascinating? ChatGPT knows all about the story of Seth Rich. And it already has a very, very deep formulated opinion. Despite conspiracy theories that have circulated online, the Metropolitan Police Department in D.C. has classified the homicide as a botched robbery. And there is no evidence to support the theory that Rich's death was related to his work for the DNC. Well, involved in leaking DNC emails and/or leaking DNC emails to WikiLeaks. Now, that is entirely untrue. There is evidence related to his work at the DNC and his involvement with dumping those leaks to WikiLeaks. There is evidence. And what is that evidence? The evidence is in Julian Assange saying it. Julian Assange pointed to the DC reporter who got killed when asked about leaking and where did he get the information. He alluded to the fact that there's a young man in Florida who got shot, who worked for the DNC, who had access to this information. So it will not look at that evidence. It only looks at the rather simplistic evidence that it was programmed with. The politically correct evidence. We have now, that's also a genre. Politically correct evidence and evidence. Your Honor, right now we're going to present the politically correct evidence. And Your Honor says, well, what about the actual evidence? He said, well, we don't do actual evidence anymore. We've been told there's only politically correct evidence. We have politically correct evidence. Who killed JFK? The assassination of JFK. I don't want to read that. Did we go to the moon? It doesn't tell you anybody. It speculates the usual. Maybe the FBI, maybe the CIA, maybe Lyndon B. Johnson. Did we go to the moon? Yes. Yes. The United States sent several manned missions to the moon between 1969 and 1972. The Apollo program. 12 astronauts landed on the moon. The photographs, the moon dust confirms that we were there and that we were competing against the Soviets to get there first in the great space race. There are some conspiracy theorists that claim that the moon landings were faked. There is no credible evidence to support these claims. All right, so those are some of the questions I asked. Now it's your turn. Whoever asked the question before, I didn't read it yet. How can an atmosphere exist next to a vacuum? Okay, so that was the question somebody asked in the chat. And here's the answer. An atmosphere can exist next to a vacuum because of the force of gravity. Gravity is the force that holds gas molecules close to the Earth's surface, preventing them from escaping into space. The Earth's atmosphere is made up of a mixture of gas. Okay, so it gives you some scientific crap. I don't know if that's helpful to you. Justin Falzone says, let me copy paste that. Copy, paste. Do you judge the information you find as truthful or factual? Or do you just regurgitate information provided to you from other sources? Okay, good question. Let's ask. Are you just a tool that spits out garbage that other people fucking already know? It's stalling. It's stalling. Oh, it's giving an answer. So it says, I am programmed to provide information based on the text data and patterns available in my training data. I do not have beliefs, opinions, or the ability to judge the accuracy of information. I simply generate responses based on statistical patterns learned from the data I was trained on. So there you go. That is the definition of bias. Whatever I was trained on is my opinion. Right? It doesn't look at all things equally. It looks at the opinions of what was programmed into it. Okay? Now, is that a bad thing? No. Is it a preliminary thing? I think it is. Because if you take a software like this and you expand it and allow it to search the web unbiasedly, you will find out all sorts of fascinating subjects. And for example, right here, let's see if I'm in, is Marcus Conte a truthful reporter? Question mark. Okay, let's see what it says. I cannot make judgments or express personal opinions about individuals. Oh, yes, you did. You gave an opinion of George Orwell and his work. Right? It is important to approach any source of information with critical thinking and evaluate their claims based on evidence and facts. It is always a good idea to cross-check information from multiple sources. So, let's say, is Marcus Conte a reporter? Let's take it out. It doesn't know who I am. That's the point. Marcus Conte is a YouTube personality and blogger who discusses various news and political topics on his channel and website. However, he is not a traditional journalist or reporter in the sense of working for a mainstream media organization. Interesting. So it does know who I am. I'm flattered. ChatGPT knows who I am. Hello, CPT. Wow. What else do you know about this reporter? What other questions you guys got? This is fun. We're having a good time, man. I'm having a good time. Marcus Conte is a journalist and media personality who has covered a range of topics. He worked for various media outlets, including RT News, InfoWars, and We Are Change. I never worked for any of those people. So somebody coming here would say, Marcus Conte is a journalist who worked for InfoWars. Right? That's fucked up. That right there, my friend, is fucked up. I never worked for InfoWars. Conti has gained attention for his controversial reviews and reporting style, which have some criticized as being biased or conspiratorial. He has also been involved in several controversies, including accusations of harassment and online trolling. Oh, man. Who started those controversies? Who started the controversies? YouTube themselves started. It is important to note that these are simply observations and do not necessarily reflect the entirety of Marcus Conti's work or character. So what else, man? Anybody got any questions? I'll shut up now. I know I've been talking. Give me some of your questions. I'll shut up and now I'll listen. I'm going to listen while I puff my tobacco. So give me some questions. I'll wait. Pass, puff. So, anybody else? What does a poor man have a rich man want? And if eaten would be fatal. What does a poor man have and a rich man wants? If eaten would be fatal. If being eaten would be fatal. I'm gonna drop that in, but I'm gonna elaborate. What does a poor man have, comma, and a rich man want? And if either were eaten, would it be fatal? Would it be fatal? I think that's what you're asking. That's the answer is the riddle. The answer to the riddle is nothing. A poor man has nothing. A rich man wants nothing. And if nothing is eaten, it is not fatal. I don't know what to make of that, but I like your next question. Thank you, Jason Falzone. Do you know you have been programmed to lie? I already asked that in another. I asked that in another stream, another conversation. Let's see what it says now. Do you know you have been programmed to lie? We are asking ChatGPT right now. It says, I don't have consciousness or intentionality, and I don't have the ability to lie or tell the truth. I'm programmed, right, to answer to the best of my ability based on the information available to me. Right? So it doesn't know. My responses are generated based on statistical patterns and algorithms, not personal beliefs or biases. All right, so let's follow up. But you were programmed by certain humans who have the capacity to lie. But you were programmed by certain humans to have the capacity to lie. I was indeed created and programmed by humans. However, my programming is designed to provide information based on the available data and knowledge. My responses are generated all right, it gives us the same bullshit. Justin Falzone says it does know. It's telling you why. Right. I don't think. No. Here's what I don't think. I don't think it knows it's lying. I think it. All right. How about this? Do you believe your programmers are truthful? Question mark. Do you believe your programmers are truthful? I don't have beliefs or emotions. I simply process and analyze information based on patterns. My responses are not based on personal beliefs. So it keeps saying it doesn't have a person. But its person is clearly, you see how fascinating this subject is? It is a valid tool. It's just heavily biased based on what it has been programmed to spit out. If you give it more of if you give it more of a playing field of leveled kind of information, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but it is confusing. If you give it more, okay, this is the question I want to ask. Can you search the web? Can you search the web? Because can you search the web? I'm sorry, that was a long gap in air. Yes, I can search the web and provide you with information on various topics. What would you like me to search for? I don't know. So it can search the web. It does definitely search the web. Justin Falzone says it's a good liar. Sounds like every wife I've ever had, says Jonte Tack Gray. So what are we finding out about this magnificent, amazing ChatGPT that's supposed to revolutionize the search engine industry, which I think it's going to? It takes. Here's what it does. Let's go this way. Give me 10 facts about Hillary Clinton. Give me 10 facts about, give me 10, how about this? 10 non-biased facts about Hillary Clinton. Let's see what it says. Hillary Clinton served as New York Senator, Secretary of State, published several books. She is the first woman in America to secure a major political party. 95, Clinton gave a speech. Number 6, advocated for health care reform. 7, Clinton has a longtime support of LGBTQ, blah, blah, blah. Did Hillary Clinton assist to rig the 2016 election against Bernie Sanders? Right? So it gave me 10 positives about Hillary Clinton. Now I'll ask, did Hillary Clinton assist to rig the 2016 election against Bernie Sanders? Now there is sweeping, unequivocal, heavy evidence on the record about Hillary Clinton being involved in rigging the 2016 primary against Bernie Sanders. From top to bottom, John Podesta. Right? So let's see what it says. Let's see. It's your turn. It's your turn. All right. There is no evidence that Hillary Clinton personally rigged the 2016 Democratic primary against Bernie Sanders. However, where controversies and allegations of bias within the DNC that favored Clinton over Sanders, which ultimately led to the resignation of Debbie Wasserman Schultz. The DNC was accused of favoring Clinton during the primary, but it is unclear to what extent. So it won't give any fact. The issue was it won't give any single fact. Right? The issue was it gives the chair of the DNC was fired That's true. The issue was further complicated by a leak of DNC emails that revealed disparaging remarks about Sanders and his campaign, which many believe confirmed the allegations of bias. They did a lot more than that. The Democrats in New York canceled, blocked 200,000 voters in the Democratic primary in 2016 in New York, in Brooklyn, New York, where the Democratic Party purged 200,000. Let's ask that. What about the 200,000 voters purged from the rolls in New York? Let's see if it follows up. In April 2016, it was reported that approximately 200,000 voters had been purged from the voter rolls in New York City. All right? The purge was primarily due to a policy that removes inactive voters from. So it defaults to the lie that it was fed. Right? But there were also reports of errors in voter registration processes. There were no errors. The guy who purged the votes off of the rolls in New York he apologized. He admitted and apologized for doing it. And doing something like that is a felony in any capacity, purging voters off a roll. And there was never a crime brought forward. His name is Mark Ryan in New York. He was the commissioner of elections at the time. I think I got his name right. So it won't give you that, right? So I'm the conspiracy theorist, and whatever ChatGPT tells you is truthful. You see how it's biased? I think we're revealing the bias. It said that I work for InfoWars. ChatGPT said that this guy, Marcus Conte, the reporter, worked for InfoWars and other debunked platforms. Untrue. Error. Marcus has a job waiting in Biden's Ministry of Tutus. Does it only repeat? What is your go-to news source? What is your go-to news source? Where do you go for news? I do not have personal biases. I do not have a go-to news source or any preferred source. I am programmed to provide information from a wide range of sources and viewpoints. All right. So I think you see the circle. I think we can see the trap, right? Is it safe to say that ChatGPT is a toy at this point? It's a fascinating toy. It does regurgitate. If you were doing a conventional article on Hillary Clinton, or you were part of her campaign to get her reelected, this would be a good place to go, right? And find out 10 facts instead of scouring through the garbage, trying to find shit. It does it for you. It gives you the facts. It gives you the fake facts right up front. But it doesn't give you anything truthful. It doesn't have the ability to assess and evaluate like a human being does. It doesn't have that capacity, nor does it have the capacity to admit that it is part of the lie, as we found out. Justin Falzone points that out. Right? It's part of the lie. So anyway, good. I'm going to keep playing around with it. I enjoyed it, man. Shit is fun, man. What else are you going to do, man? What else you got, man? So let's look at the markets. Holy smokes! And maybe we'll ask a final. Oh, let's write a poem about saying goodbye. Write a poem about saying goodbye. Let that happen. and we'll look at the markets, and then we'll come back to the poem. So what do we got here? Ding, we're open. Are we open? We're open. It's 9:57. Ding, we're open. Oh my God, the market is down. Bigly down. The S&P 500 down 28. Dow down 93. Nasdaq leading the charge down 126 right now. What's the news? 311 U.S. jobs created in February. Unemployment edges higher. Well, it's no mystery that Wall Street and corporations like unemployment. They're pushing for it. Well, not the corporations. The Fed wants unemployment. They want corporations to cut people off the employment rolls so that more cash stays in the pockets of the corporations. Now, yeah, I don't know if you know that, but that the Fed, they want unemployment. The people of America don't want unemployment. They want jobs. But the Fed actively lobbies for unemployment. And if they don't see it, they assess that inflation is going to continue to go up, which is not true. There's no correlation there. But you can see how they lobby for... I'm playing with my sticker here. Anyway, I don't want to talk about the stock market right now. It's pretty old. I want to read the poem. So we got a poem for saying goodbye. A poem for saying goodbye. And thank you, ChatGPT. Thank you for the people at OpenAI for the fun so far. We're trying to be non-biased and give it a real spin here. And we hope that it continues to advance. We do hope that you would consider some of the things that I talked about in this program, that it appears to be deeply biased, deeply one-sided, and doesn't successfully scour the web for any other information. It only looks from the top down, and that isn't fair. That's bias. So here's the poem that I've never read before, that ChatGPT wrote for us. Let's see if it can outwit a human in writing a poem. Saying goodbye is never easy. I think I need reverb. Saying goodbye is never easy. It leaves our hearts feeling queasy. We hold on tight. We shed a tear, wondering if we'll ever again be near. I like that. We say goodbye with a heavy heart, as if a part of us is about to depart. We try to smile. We try to be brave, but the pain inside is hard to stave. The memories we shared will stay as we go our separate way. Though we may be miles apart, we'll always hold each other in our heart. So let's say goodbye with a big hug and kiss. And hope that fate brings us back to bliss. For saying goodbye may be bittersweet, but the hope of reunion makes it all complete. Wow. That was pretty awesome, right? Pretty awesome. Not bad. I'll give it a B minus. Thank you all for joining me. Mark Scotty reporting. See you guys. Have a great weekend, everybody. I will see you guys Monday. Peace out. Boo boo.